welcome to Obidient Family TV. This is Obedient Women. My name is Sharon Enemchukwu, and we're going to be talking about just a recap. We're doing a recap of everything we've done on Obedient Women. So far, so good. Of course, I am joined by these two beautiful, amazing, intelligent women in person of...
My name is Jayceekah, guys. Welcome back to the show. It's amazing to be here.
My name is Ibeh Chuks, and you're welcome to Obedient Women.
Okay. All right, so today we're going to be having a recap of everything that we've done. Okay. Maybe not everything, but just basically most of what we've done on the show. Yeah. So you know how we started, we're talking about the about active involvement of women in politics, and then we touched reasons why women have not been involved in politics, and then we did a little bit of analysis of when Peter Obi was governor of Anambra State and the women representation that he had, right? And then we also talked about the benefits of women involvement in politics, and we did there was a topic I really liked. I think we called it Obidient.
How Peter Obi involved more women in politics, right?
Yes. And then we were giving our own individual opinions on what we think obedient women should be doing. Like, it's just a whole lot. Yeah. It is. It's a roller coaster, and I really enjoyed my time. I mean, election is just... It feels like it's tomorrow. Yeah. But it's next tomorrow, guys.
I mean, less than 48 hours.
Yeah. Wow. And I'm super hyped. I'm so excited. I am so excited. How are you guys feeling about the election?
Oh my God. I just sighed right now. This is, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, okay, what we've been clamoring for, what we've been screaming, shouting, fighting for, and everything is going to happen in the next 48 hours. And that, I don't know how to place my words right now. I just pray that everything turns out well, and there is no casualty, there is no injury, there is no whatever it is, everything just goes smoothly. That's my prayer for next tomorrow.
I pray God, of course God is going to answer that. What about you, Grace?
Yeah, me, I feel so excited about that. It's less than 48 hours. I can actually wait for it, and I just feel this positive vibes, and I just pray that it remains till after the election.
Oh, amen. I pray it remains after the election. It's just really, I think there's a period where we are just going to sit back and allow all the efforts that we've been making to play out and see how it turns out. We are so excited. All right, at this moment, let's go straight into a recap of the things that we have been doing right here on Obedient Women. All right, first of all, we talked about the participation of women and, you know, how they've been supporting Mr. Peter Obi, the need for active, involvement of these women. So let's just talk about that a lot. I mean, we've already said, this is a recap, so I need you all to understand that we're not talking about these things again. We just need to touch on some of the things that we took, from those conversations. I, for one, before we actually had that topic, I did not know that women had, higher percentage of registered voters, right? Women and youth. I didn't know that before. So it was really enlightening that when I was doing that research, I was finding out that, really, women actually, they are mighty in numbers. Exactly. And it was such a pleasure to find out. What about you?
Okay, for me, I discovered that Peter Obi is someone that loved to involve women in politics. Yeah. Before now, I'm not from Anambra State, so my focus wasn't about things happening in Anambra State. It's more about what is happening in Imo State. But when I started reading more about what Mr. Peter Obi did when he was the governor of Anambra State, I was stunned. Especially the fact that he employed, or not employed though, but then he included women, about 40% of women in politics, and that's amazing because that's all like what we see in Nigeria. And for the fact that Peter Obi is someone that advocates for women, I mean, it seems like he's a feminist or something, but obviously he's not. But and that also it also went back to, or it also helped us to understand that women can also be involved in politics right now. And he mentioned every time Peter Obi talks about what he's going to do when he becomes the president of Nigeria, he's always stressing on women's involvement in politics. And that's something to look out for, because imagine that women are not, they're not discriminated, or they are allowed to be involved in politics. It's going to have a positive effect in our economy in Nigeria. And there was a time when Okonjo-Iweala was I'm supposed to know this thing, but then we're on TV and it's so weird. I don't know our position, but then she was the Minister of Finance, right? Yeah. All right, I got that, thank God. So Peter Obi is one person that really advocated for Okonjo-Iweala, and it's really amazing. So it shows that Peter Obi is going to do the same thing, involve women like Okonjo-Iweala into the economy of Nigeria to take us forward. So that's my take.
Okay, I think we are just going to be touching a lot of things. I'm not going to ask Grace the same question. When we talked about consumption to production, how it affects women, what did you take back from that conversation when we talked about consumption to production?
Yeah, earlier today I was having an interview with a woman who is a support group. She's the leader of the support group, and she was saying that women are moving out from consumption to production, and which is actually what Mr. Peter Obi actually wants. So because then she left to say that in this election, if anything should go wrong, it's usually women that suffers it the most.
True.
And she was talking about being participation in the election, and she said something like the women are actually the ones more coming out to vote, and this because of Mr. Peter Obi is involved. Women are actually coming out, moving out from the parts and moving into the production part themselves, in the sense that they're now beginning to stay in the front line. Yeah. So I actually believe that women are actually moving from that to production.
All right, thank you very much. That is really amazing. And let's move on. There was a time you also talked about there's this statement that trended that Mr. Peter Obi said that women are more productive, they are less corrupt, and I think he said productive, less corrupt, and they are interesting to work with. And it created quite a stir on the internet, and we talked about that, all right. For me, what I see, it was just the entire statement for me. It was the entire statement, everything. And because we actually did a research to confirm if that was true, and I found out that it was, because a private research institute had already conducted that research, but in a private working scenario, right? It wasn't in the public sector, but then you could actually compare that with what Mr. Peter Obi said, and it was really amazing. And then we also talked about the parliament, the UK parliament. We compared it. They have more women representation over there than here. So yes, we saw how these women were advocating for different kind of policies that affected the citizens, right? That affected, that had to do with abuse and childcare and all that. It was just amazing. I really, really loved that, because I could go outside and boast, Mr. Peter Obi said this, and it's true. So yeah, Jayceekah,
let me add something. We once talked about how women started forming groups, right, and how individuals like women, individual women were just like doing, like they were going all out to support Peter Obi, and that's amazing. And I was also inspired one time where we interviewed Wuyemi. Very young, vibrant young lady, and she just mentioned a few things that she did. Watching her speak, I was, in my mind, I was like, okay, Jayceekah, what you're doing at the moment is also for the movement, so calm down, all right? I felt like, okay, you ain't doing enough, because this is a very young girl, and then she's just doing so much. And irrespective of the discrimination and backlash and everything, still yet she's putting herself out there, and I was really inspired. This wouldn't have happened if it was just a random candidate or someone who doesn't have track record of what they've done, or someone who doesn't have vision. This is because Peter Obi came on board, and we see women who are inspired, women who have not in any way lent their voice to any political whatever. So someone like Wuyemi, because we did not really interview a lot of them, but there are too many women out there, a lot of women, young women, who have been pushing themselves, who have been putting their face out there, irrespective of what may happen or what may not happen, and it's amazing. And I, for one, myself, I feel really inspired. I mean, I should inspire you. It's not easy, you know. It is. We are women also, you know, coming here and you know, pushing this movement. So it started with Peter Obi, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's going to continue with Peter Obi. Yeah. All right. Okay, we have talked about that now, the whole statement. Now let's move on to another topic that we had. We talked about the influence or the effect of Peter Obi's administration on petty traders, right? That was amazing, because I just got to find out that, you know, first of all, most of these petty traders are actually women. And then we looked at Anambra State's government and when Mr. Peter Obi was the governor for and what he did, you know, for small-scale farmers and for petty traders. Really, it was amazing, mind-blowing. What do you have to say concerning that topic, Grace?
Yeah, basically, I actually like the fact that Mr. Peter Obi is usually going to the grassroots itself and not just people that are already established, especially those women. And there's one time I told you guys that he gave, like, he supported youth and women, like all the petty traders, to support in their business, because most especially, even he was talking about the abad that he's going to establish and stuff like that, because there are actually people there who are talented and really need support. So I believe that these petty traders, I believe that when he finally wins, that he's going to boost them up. So, and he's looking at not just people that who are established already, because these petty traders are actually the ones that are really rooting for him.
They are, and it's high time that they get the kind of representation that they need. It's not always, they shouldn't always be, you know, behind the scenes. So I like the fact that Mr. Peter Obi is going to come out and put them in the front line. Anyways, let's go on a quick break. You know, and you know, we can talk more about the things that we have done on the show so far. Do not go nowhere. We'll be right back.
20th October 2020, Nigeria government off lights by innocent citizens for Lekki toll gate. We don't think where our country people begin suffer.
The kind shege wey our eye don't see, our mouth no fit talk am. Bag of rice wey dey buy 10k before, e don reach 50k now.
Oh yeah, yakata for we country. But yet we still dey suffer on top poor matter.
You go school, spend 6 to 7 years on top 4-year course, all because of ASUU strike.
And you go still comot, you no go see work. Now, the power dey our hand to choose better person. We get the capacity to make Nigeria better. And the only person wey fit do am for us na Peter Obi.
Naija, make we no miss this opportunity. Make we vote Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati as President and Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Vote LP. Vote Mama, Papa, Pikin.
On to Obedient Women. Okay, that was an amazing ad. I don't know, don't you think so?
I saw the ad one time, I think was yesterday, and I was swelling up with
you did the ad. Why you feel like you didn't know you did that?
Like, I saw the whole finishing video, so I was like, this is it.
That's it.
This is the Obedient movement. We are not playing.
We are not here to play. We are not here to play. That was such a beautiful ad. Anyways, we're talking about things that we've discussed on the show, a little recap on the things that we've had, you know, discussed on the show. So you wanted to say something, because the next topic that I want us to touch is my absolute favorite. It's the need for men to champion women's issues in politics. That was such a brainer for me.
Okay, I like something about Peter Obi, right? Because there is this, I don't know if I should call it stereotype. This is a natural thing where they say women are sentimental, women are emotional, women are this, women are that. And to be honest, it's true. But I like how Peter Obi saw this in the positive side. There was one time he was saying that, yes, he understands that women are too emotional, sentimental, and all of those things, but it helps in the positive side, because without these women in power, for example, he made mention of Okuna, Professor Stella Okuna, how Professor Stella Okuna, when he placed her in a position in government, she was there to always sit him up. She was there to always
not
tell
just Stella though.
Yes, just example, right? She was there to tell him that, okay, you know what, if you're doing this, will it help us? Will it favor our children? Will it impact our children in a negative way? So someone like Stella, like a woman like Stella and various other women, right, they helped, in as much as women are known to be emotional beings or sentimental beings, but then they are mothers, so they feel things. They are less likely to do corruptible acts. So I think that this is the reason why Peter Obi applaud them and recognize their, should I call it a weakness? I don't know if that is a weakness.
It's not a weakness.
Yes, this is part of, this is nature, right? So I like the fact that he's not like the other people that would tell you women are this, they don't make rational decision because they're always moved by emotion. But Peter Obi is different, and he mentioned this, and this is what we discussed one time. And so that's my point.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't mentioned that. I also believe that these women are actually doing a lot that we can't see, because these men, they're more on top, like they can't actually reach those grassroots. So it's these women that are actually around that reaches those grassroots problems ahead. So I think like women are really supporting him in a very good way.
Yeah, they are. And
that's why he acknowledged them very well.
Yes, you know how he said that he attributed his success when he was Anambra State government to the women he surrounded himself with. That was really bold. Okay, let's move on to what I wanted to talk about. The topic that we touched, it was not really that far back. We talked about the need for men to champion women's issues in politics.
Okay, yeah, that was a recent one.
Yeah, that was a recent one. So I just wanted to bring that because it's one of my favorite topics so far. Yes. So yeah, before we talked about this, I didn't know, I'd never thought about the fact that men could actually support women in the front line. I've always seen them as the people to battle, or you know, you have to get enemies, this thing from not like enemies, but they are the ones standing in the way. Like you want something. I've always seen that. Oh, these are the people that is actually standing in front, having you know, the kind of women representation in politics that they should. Until we talked about this topic, and I started seeing, okay, what if these men can actually join hands together with women and make this a reality? And it made so much sense to me. And that is why this topic was one of my favorite, because it just changed a mindset that I used to have, and I loved that. And then when we went on to talk about this, I'm going to let you both tell me your favorite, because I know that I'm not the only one that enjoyed this. Alright, so okay, one of my favorite was when we talked about men, right? Campaigning for women in politics, right? That just I was saying it, and I was actually smiling at myself, because it was it wasn't difficult to imagine, but it was just weird in the kind of society that we found ourselves in. So yes, the need for men to, Jayceekah is campaigning for a particular position, maybe P-Catch should campaign, you know, the way women campaign for a particular male candidate, the men should do that. Exactly. I really liked it.
Okay.
Great. So
you just add that up. Okay, before I move to my favorite topic, I want to add up to what you said exactly about need for men to champion the strength. I actually believe it has to do with the mindset. Once an individual has the mindset that this is the right choice and this is the actually right person, not like looking at she's a lady or she's going to ride me or something like that. When you see the value in the person, like what the person actually has to offer. So my favorite topic so far on Obidient is why women should vote Mr. P2P. Because a lot have actually been happening, and like I said, and I'll say it again, if anything should go wrong, it's the women especially that is going to affect. So I think that women out there, that there's a lot of reason for you to actually stand up and vote Mr. P2P. If it's not about them, what about your kids?
Your children,
I'm telling you exactly. So that's my favorite topic.
I love that topic.
Okay, let me just add this. I don't know, it just came into my mind. It's one of the things that we discussed, how men should work side by side with these women. It's kind of related to
it is in the topic,
right?
yes.
But then it's very important, and it's amazing to see that things are beginning to change, not fully, but then it's not how it used to be, like I would always say. So the fact that men should work side by side, even if the woman is going for a lesser position, a position that has less responsibility, you as a man should supports that woman. And I mentioned one time in our show about godfatherism. So I don't know, because campaigning takes a lot, like I would always say. Definitely, like, it's just what it is, right? Campaigning takes a lot of money and sponsors and all this. So if these men can work side by side with these women, I think politics would be a liberal thing for everybody, right? To be a neutral thing, right? So like I said, men should work side by side with women. If there is no godfatherism, like if there is no sponsor, I don't know if this godfatherism has negative what was it called?
I think it does. A negative side.
Yeah, a negative side. I think we should not use the godfatherism something, because let's just use sponsor.
Godfatherism is a real thing.
I know it's a real thing, but then I'm not trying to like advocate for it. Right? So I don't know if it has a negative side, but then what I'm trying to say is that people should start sponsoring women who want to go into politics. Not the godfatherism thing, right? So just really sponsor women. Don't look at it as though she's a woman. She doesn't really have, or maybe they are men. There are other candidates are men. She's a woman. She wouldn't really, you know, win the election or so. But if you stand by her and you know her capacity, definitely she will win.
I like that. Do you know, I'm not really thought about that. Yes, because you were talking about not just women. I mean, Mr. Peter is running for presidency, and we see people come out en masse to support him, both financially and otherwise. Do you understand? So who says that that can't happen for a woman who is contesting? I really like that. That's brilliant. But before we move on to grades, we're going to be touching a little bit on the topic we talked about, the office of the First Lady. That was something. that was something, yes. So, Jessica, what was your favorite topic?
Okay. The office of the First Lady.
No, I'm not saying that's the next topic we're talking about, but what's your favorite topic so far?
Okay, wait. You're saying that your own favorite topic is...
No, my favorite topic is Need for Men to Touch. Now, the next topic is Office of the First Lady.
That's actually my favorite. That is actually my favorite, because I love what Peter Obi is doing right now. So, I mean, why shouldn't it be our favorite? It should be our favorite.
Because we just smelled
that's a new implementation, and it's unlike what we are used to. So, imagine that Peter Obi implement that. I mean, that's awesome.
That's crazy. So in case you don't know what we're talking about, you better just go straight to like the videos we've done before, so you understand. We talked about the office of the First Lady, and you know, Mr. Peter B said he was going to scrap out that entire constitutional, and it just cost a whole lot to maintain. And there were so many reactions on the internet, so we just came here and we trashed it as much as we could. But yes, we really enjoyed it. And then okay, let me just give you one reason why Mr. Peter B actually wants to take out that position. First of all, he's saying that the budget allocation to the office of the First Lady is 4 billion naira with staffs and personnel that are on the federal government's payroll. That is that. And they also have 20 vehicles assigned to that particular office. And number one, it's not constitutional. It's not in our constitution. So these are the reasons, the cost of governance and how strenuous it is. And then we also talked about, family, the role husbands play, domineering husbands who do not want to give their women the wings to fly. So talked about jealousy and maybe fear and insecurity. So yes, it's